day again. I hope you enjoyed the weather. I'm sure I am. By the way, Jack and David, father and son, this one's to you. Cheers, guys. You know why. Oh, that's good. Right, back to business. As you've seen the other day, new battery arrived, which is about third of the size of the old one, about third of the weight as well. I think it is slightly longer than the old one, the same width, but as you can see, it's way shorter, not as high as tall as this one. So that's heavy, and that is exactly what I was going for. It's got the same cranking power, the same voltage and everything else, just the size is different. So I'm going to fit it into that gap, which is going to be much better option for what I had in mind. I'm not sure how I'm going to fit it yet. think I'm going to create some kind of a mounting plate with some corners, maybe a wall or two, a little box open with bar on top. But that is the plan for today. I have no plan other than drink a couple of beers and mount this bad boy in a frame where the air filter used to live. So welcome back and join me for this episode. Let's do this. Alright, so here's the hole when the air filter used to sit. By the way, if you just join me now, we're building a coffee racer out of Yamaha XV 500 1983. And today we try to mount the battery in here. Fits perfectly, job done. Not quite simple as that. What I want to do, I want to move it to one side or the other, probably over here. And I want to mount the solenoid unit somewhere here as well, so it connects straight to the battery, and I got all the connections made up from the wiring harness, connect to the solenoid unit itself over here, and that's the plan for today. Didn't really think about it much. I'm just gonna make it along as I go. I've got a plan in my head and see how well I can execute it, more or less. But that battery here, you can see, sits perfectly in that gap. You can move it one way or the other, but it's just perfect for what I need. So yeah, let's have it done. Right. So after having another beer, think I've got a plan more or less in my head. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit because it's full of shit, and I'm gonna create like a base plate. Rectangular base plate, not all the way here because I want half of this hole sticking out. The reason for it, I want this ignition coil, both of them, to run through here and then plug into one of those units, so it's nice and hidden, which should be just fine for the battery, because if I move it all the way back, there's plenty of room there. As you can see, there's a hole in here, and once I have that base plate, I can create just slight, like a wall kind of thing, box kind of shape. Don't need to go all the way up, just so the battery stays in place. And then I can shim it and put some rubber mounts on it, so it's protected from vibration and all that. And I create a brace using these two holes, brace from the top, so it's not going anywhere. That would be perfect for it. Yeah, I think that is the plan. Let's do this. Be first. That's better. Right, so now this is in. Fits like here beautifully. It's beef, I ain't going nowhere. The battery drops here perfectly. Absolutely fine. Now I need to figure out a way to mount this bad boy over here so it just drops in. I'm thinking like a metal hoop with rubber inside so it dampens as well. It's not solid, but it's not super solid, so I think that would be a good solution for this little bad boy here. I could use this bracket here, but don't really need to. I can just weld something here, really simple, and then drop it in. Let's do this. So there we have it. Simple thing, right? Simple thing. It took me nearly 3 hours, like 2.5 hours probably, of solid work. And 4 bays. And that's what it's made for, a beer holder. I'm gonna bolt it to the ceiling and hold a beer mug somewhere. Somehow. I'm joking. Just joking. Well, anyway, let me show you what this is all about. Right, so our hole, our device, which is the battery holder and a solenoid holder, which I just dropped. Good thing it's beef, so it doesn't break. So that thing fits here, nice and snug. The battery goes here. All I need to do is just put some rubber shims around it so it's protected from vibration and create the bar that go across here. And this bad boy also with rubber mount drops here perfectly. Once there's a rubber mount, which I've got over there, it sits in nice and solid, and it's going to be bolted here. And for that, well, that's going to the motor, that's going to be shielded to the chassis or the engine, the frame of the engine. And job done pretty much. Just need to wire these bad boys. And leave me that hole I was talking about before underneath there for the ignition coils. Once this is wired in, the electric is 100% done, and I'm really happy about that. But first, let me create a brace over here and mount it properly in place. Job well done. That ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. This guy's gonna leave in here. Fit it all the way there. And the battery is solid as you like it. Look, I'm moving the whole bike just by moving the battery. I might put some rubber dumping device underneath, but it's a sealed battery, need no maintenance. It is absolutely fine. Right, let's rewire those coils and then we take it from there. Boom. Alright guys, so a few minutes later we got the ignition coils extended nicely with a thick external cable. I figured out the best way to put them through is through that hole from where the air filter used to be, and I got half of it. Let me just move this. As you can see down there, you can see it okay because it's quite dark in there. Goes through that hole and connects right here to the wiring loom. I had it all preset before I went ahead and rewired the whole thing. And this little guy who sits over here, it will connect to the battery, and that will connect back to the wiring loom. And that's pretty much the wiring done. All I need to do is just buy a longer cable for the negative terminal to connect it to the engine block, unless I connect it to the frame somewhere, but I figure the engine block is the best way to ground it. I will also go through that hole, and that's pretty much it. The next thing I need to do here is, let me get rid of that battery from here. Obviously I need to tack weld that battery box, that little funny battery box I created over here. As you can see, it sits in a little recess over here, so it doesn't move from side to side, well, gently, and it doesn't move back because it's like a square box about, I don't know, 10 mil high maybe, for the air filter where it used to sit, so it seals all the way around. It didn't leak any air. There was a seal over here, I guess. So that battery box I designed, it was not a box, it's a battery tray kind of thing. I designed it to sit there, but I don't want it just to be held together by this bar. So what I'll do, I clean up the mess inside a little bit, and I'll probably do like a couple of spot welds, 2 on this side and 2 on this side, just so the battery tray is permanently there. But before I do so, I wanna glue some kind of rubber mounts and paint it gently. You know, obviously not what I'm welding, but paint it on there on the other side. So I'm gonna do this next. Alright guys, so this thing is it's nearly done. The last thing I need to do, just clean it up a little bit, and I want to glue this rubber mats. I had like a rubber mat, it just hard rubber 3mm thick. One piece goes in this little bad boy here to hold the solenoid in place, and it also kind of dampens the vibration, and it sits here nice and snug. Once it's in, it's not going anywhere. I put tie wrap around it just to make sure, but it won't go anywhere. So I'm going to glue that in place, and I've got a piece over here to glue on the bottom, and I'm going to glue one piece on this wall, so when the battery sits on that, it's got a little bit of damping. I know it's not much, but just a little bit from the rubber to make it work. And I was just thinking how to glue the rubber to metal, and I got the Gorilla Glue some time ago, thinking ahead for the foam, gluing foam to metal. So I thought I'm gonna try it on a little scrap piece of metal and rubber head, and I'll tell you what, that thing is seriously strong. Don't know if you can see this here, but I'm trying to remove the rubber from the metal, and it's actually, the rubber disintegrates before it leaves the surface. I'm sure if you put a screwdriver underneath or something and try to peel it off, it will come off eventually, but I'm telling you, this stuff is seriously strong. So if you're thinking of gluing anything to anything, Gorilla Glue, I guess, is the way to go. It expands quite a bit, so be careful with it anyway, but it's definitely good stuff. Right, so I have this thing completed now. It's gonna live inside that hole you've seen over there. I'm not gonna bore you with showing you how to weld it and stuff and all that shit. I'm just gonna go ahead, clean it up, paint it a bit from the back when I can't get to it, clean the mess inside there first, and paint it all black, so it's all black. And then I'm gonna just tack weld it, spot weld it in 4 spots, so it's solid, it's always there. I can just drop the battery in and put a metal bar on top to hold it, and that'll be secured, and that'll be done. Job done. Battery mounted. Moving on. Reckon next thing I want to do on this little bad boy, I'm gonna revisit the seat. I'm gonna revisit this bad boy because all you suggested, don't cover the whole piece in leather, paint it and create another section over here. So this part will need to go, and we're going to create the a seat pan over here, so we can give it to upholstery guy, and he can cover that in leather. And I'm going to create some foam seating on that as well. So that's hopefully next episode. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Have a beer and rock hard. I'll see you next time.